Hi ladies, happy Sunday. So this video is going to be one of our most important videos for this entire journey because we're going to be talking about purpose, and this is just me going in depth now, explaining what it is, and what it does for you. So as we proceed, as you are spending time in trying to craft what that is for us, trying to understand and trying to seek God's face in what it is that he created us for, we would have even a better understanding of what it is. Okay, so this video might be a little long, but let's just go ahead and get started. So what is purpose, right? This session we're talking about purpose because we need to be able to define our purpose and even understand what it is. So before we're able to really clearly articulate it, we need to know what purpose is. So purpose is the original intent for the creation of a thing. So whatever it is that is created, be it a person, be it a thing, there's a purpose that it has to serve. And us being God's children, when he created us, he had a purpose in mind for us and who we will become. So that's exactly what purpose is. Purpose is the reason for the existence of a thing. And so, what does purpose do for you? The first thing is purpose helps you to live a fulfilled life. A lot of people have rated people's success based on what they've seen, in their careers, in their professional lives, and all of that. But when you're not walking in your purpose, you could be doing all these things that people see as success, but you're failing because you're not operating in your purpose, which means you're not serving the original intent for which God created you. That's a wasted life. That's a life that is not fulfilled. And so my hope is that by the time we get done with this 14 days that we all committed, there'll be such an understanding of what it is that our purpose is. So that way when we move to the next phase of our lives, there's such intentionality and direction and clarity of even all the goals that we're setting. So I did put a few notes because you guys know me. I can talk and go on and on forever. So okay, so purpose is one of your most important things in life. It's one of the most important things you have to figure out in life. I don't care if you don't marry the right person or you have kids that give you headaches every day. Understanding your purpose is the most important thing because every other thing will make sense. Every other thing will fall into place. So if right now you're just working, living life as is, you're going to miss it if you've not taken the time to really understand why it is that you're here. And I'm sure for most of us, when we get to this matured age, we start to wonder, right? Why am I really here? What am I supposed to be doing? You do your work, you probably make a good amount of money, but you're empty. You're trying to understand, why am I even going to, is this it? Is this really it? Have you guys ever asked yourself? I mean, a few years ago, I remember I used to ask myself that. I'm like, is this it? Like, I knew there was more, I knew there was greater, but it wasn't clear, right? So I would ask those questions. So let's go ahead now and talk about, the different characteristics of purpose. Purpose is very individual. So, purpose is one thing that only you, when God created you, he created you for a specific purpose. Nobody else can fulfill that purpose. Isn't that so cool? Which means no matter what you're doing, even if somebody is doing something that looks like it, there's a way that God created you to do it that no one else can do it. And so, purpose can only be discovered by that person. It's only you, your own reason. You came here to solve a particular problem, and that problem only you can solve it. The next thing about purpose is that it serves multiple purposes. So even though you find what your purpose is, it can still serve other purposes. Like the sun, for example, is supposed to provide light, but even the sun is helping crops to grow, right? And the sun is helping a lot of, it's helping to bring about seasons and all of that, and mark seasons and things like that. So every purpose serves multiple purposes. Another characteristics of purpose, the third one, is that it is interdependent, which means you cannot accomplish your purpose by yourself or in isolation. It will be connected to other people and other people, because at the end of the day, it's not just for you. It's something that has to serve a greater good. So that's one other thing about purpose. The next thing, before I don't forget, is purpose is permanent. So purpose is already in you. You're not going to find it outside of you. Sometimes life will put you in circumstances that will cause you to discover it, but it's always been in you, so it's permanent, and you cannot change who you are. So it's already in there. It's like a tree is already in a seed. There's no way you can change the DNA of that seed to produce a different tree. It will always produce the tree for which seed it's carrying, right? And so another thing about purpose is that it's resilient. The beauty about purpose, you remember I was asking you guys, what would you do if you had no money, no job, nothing, and you would still be happy doing? That's what purpose does. Purpose is so resilient that in spite of what's happening around you economically, you would still fulfill your purpose. So it's not dependent on external things. It's resilient. It will survive no matter what. Another thing about purpose, another characteristic is that it's universal. I love this one. And this is always big for me because when I talk to people who are in different places, I've always met people who are like, oh no, I wish I could just travel. Or, I have friends in Canada who are like, I want to make it to the US. Or I have friends in the US who are like fed up, like I want to go somewhere, I feel like I'm not happy, and all of that. Here's the thing, when you discover your purpose, it doesn't matter where you are, you're going to fulfill it. Isn't that beautiful? I love that purpose is so universal. So that's why it's key to be able to discover what it is. So how do we get to know our purpose, right? Because everyone gets confused. And yesterday I gave you guys those introductory questions because I wanted you to start thinking. But if you notice, before I even sent the questions, what did I do? I prayed. And the reason I prayed is because you cannot find the purpose of a thing outside of the creator of the thing. Which means if I manufacture a TV, I, the manufacturer, I know firsthand what that TV is supposed to do. You might turn it on and turn it off, but you might not even know all the TV is supposed to do because you're not the manufacturer. So the only way to know the original purpose or intent for a thing is to go back to who that created it, and that's God. And so there is no way we can know our purpose outside of God. It has to be in him. And sometimes people are like, oh Lily, you're beginning to sound all religious and all that. And I'm like, no, it's because it's until I got to that place where I was in complete surrender and obedience, then he revealed, my God, mine. And I'm going, what? Like, and it got me really excited because then I had clarity. That couldn't happen outside, right? So how do you even get to that point? You remember when you get a TV, what comes with that TV? A manual. What's the good thing God has given us? His word. That's his manual. That's a good place to start while you're seeking his face and asking for guidance. So, and I'm going to come back to that. So, and what's so beautiful about God being the one who gave us our purpose is that there's nothing you and I can do to change God's purpose for you. Isn't that cool? That means no matter how crazy you are, no matter how self-destructive you are, God's purpose for you still prevails. How beautiful is that, guys? How amazing is that? That no matter what we do, we cannot change what God intended for us. See what I'm saying? The TV producer will never go back and change the TV to make it a radio. There'll always be a TV. Isn't that cool? All right, another thing we have to talk about purpose, which is really key for your understanding, is that purpose has a limited time. The Bible says in Ecclesiasticus, for everything under the sun, there is a season and there's a time for every purpose. Which means you and I have been given an amount of time to fulfill our purpose. Do you see why it's so key right now for us to be in a position where we have to figure out what it is? Because what would it mean for us to live our lives and walk away never figuring out why God created us? Which means we never got to walk in obedience of why he created us. And then the people whose lives we're supposed to impact, we never got to do it. That's wasted time. None of us want to leave this earth prematurely. What's to live without living a fulfilled life? So it's even more key now to be in a place where we're working hard to really figuring out, we're seeking God and really putting our heads down and being still. So now I'm moving to the next section, and this is to talk about what purpose does. So what does purpose do? Purpose does a lot of amazing things. When you understand your purpose, the first thing it does is that it gives you a vision. Isn't that cool? Because now when you know that this is what I was born to do, now you can start to have a vision of how far you can take this, of the things you can do, the endless level. The thing with a vision is that it's never concrete. But because you understand inside of you, you're carrying this gift, you're carrying this purpose that must be fulfilled. Now you can see that vision. You can start to have that vision of how far this can go. Isn't that beautiful? And then when you have a vision, do you know what can come next now? You have a personal mission statement. Because your vision will give birth to your mission. That is what you will be able to do every day to accomplish that vision. Now, with that mission, you're able to have goals. You set your priorities. You set these goals, and then you can take action. And so what we're doing and what we'll be doing in the next part after purpose and understanding personality is we're going to go into goal setting, right? So the beauty about, understanding your purpose is that it helps you with having a vision for your life. When you have a vision, you can create your own mission now, and from that mission you can set your goals, you can set your priorities, and then you can start to implement action plans. Isn't that cool? Another thing that purpose does is that purpose protects your time. You see, there's nothing like being intentional. So when you know exactly what you're supposed to be doing, you don't waste time on what you're not supposed to be doing. For example, if I know that I was born to sing, that's my purpose, to sing in a way that gives people joy, there's no reason I should waste trying to act if acting was not part of it. Now, if I was gifted in both areas, or if my purpose was to serve in entertainment in both areas, great. But if singing is my thing, I will not let anybody waste my time, in something that is not aligned with my purpose. So purpose protects your time. So the first thing, it gives you vision. Second thing, it protects your time. The third thing is that it's able to help you measure your progress. Because when you have a purpose, now you know if you're walking towards what you're supposed to be doing or you're not. How cool is that? The fourth thing is it chooses your friends. I love that. I love it. Purpose makes you so intentional that you're even mindful of who you bring around you. It chooses your spouse, to those that are not yet married, because marriage is supposed to be purpose driven. And so when you know your purpose, you can identify the man whose purpose is aligned with you, so that you can fulfill the things that God wants you guys to fulfill as a union. Purpose also allows you to choose who your mentors will be, who you're going to mentor, who your coach will be, who can speak into your life, who cannot speak into your life. All these things go hand in hand. How great is that, right? Another thing that purpose does is that it sets your priorities. Because once you understand your purpose, man, your priorities start to be very selected, right? You choose, I don't know if that's even right to say in English, but you're able to prioritize the things that you're going to do. I think that is so amazing. Another thing that purpose does is it gives you confidence, right? There are places I walk into and I see people doing all kinds of things. But I'm not in competition with them because I know what I'm supposed to be doing. I know why I'm on earth. And so I can just relax and I watch them and they're displaying. It gives you confidence. When you find out what you're supposed to do, you're not intimidated by anybody. You encourage everyone who is walking in their path. But because you know yours, it's like you walk in and your head is just high up because you're like, I'm in no race with you, but I know where I'm going. I know what I'm supposed to be doing. And I'm keeping my mind on my prize. Isn't that so cool? So another thing that a purpose does is that it helps you persevere. When you know that you were born to do something, you don't give up on it easily because it's not outside of you. It's not something you get to choose. It's already inborn. It's in you. You have to do it. Another thing again that purpose does, it gives you joy. It gives you a lot of joy, because when you know what it is you have to do, you're not confused. Like you sleep and just know, and then especially when you start doing it too, it just, man, you just become so happy, and people look at you and they don't understand what it is, but it's because you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. And then another thing that it does is that it helps you be successful, because no matter what you do in this life, if you're not walking in your purpose, you're a successful failure, as Miles Monroe used to say. By the way, he's the one that inspired me a lot in my journey in discovering my purpose as well. You become a successful failure. Have you not seen those medical doctors that had it all and then they left it to go and do music? It's because when your purpose is not being fulfilled, you're empty. So people might look at you and think, oh my God, he's making $1 million a year. And you're going home every day feeling empty because you're not living a life of purpose. One good thing about purpose is that every purpose that God gives you, He makes provision for it. Isn't that cool? Because when God creates you and He says, this is what I want you to accomplish, He has already made the provision. But because you haven't found out yet what it is you're supposed to be accomplish, you can never even know when the resources are in your face staring at you. So let's say like someone who has always wanted to feed hungry children, guess what? When you finally discover that is what you're supposed to be doing, you'll be shocked that the moment you you open your mouth and tell people, this is what I was born to do, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to do it, you're going to see people giving you funding from all over that you never even thought saw coming. Even people you didn't even know had money will give you, because they are giving to the purpose. They're not giving to you, a person, but to the purpose that God created you for. So it's so important for us to get to understand our purpose, because when you do and you start walking in it, God makes the provision for it. So ladies, I was trying to make this video short. I see I'm already going over time, but there's something that I want to really make sure that, once you watch this video, it's the second day of the purpose conversation, but I wanted to make sure that as we're trying to come up with what our purpose is and understand what it is, let's really have this knowledge that guides our thought process, understanding that without your purpose, you're living a worthless life. Without an understanding of what you're supposed to be doing, you're literally wasting time building other people's dreams. I don't want that for you. I want that every one of us, by the time we get into 2021, we know exactly, even if we haven't gotten it completely, but we're on the path of it. So I'm encouraging you ladies that once you're done with this video, shut down everything. Get down on your knees and invite God to guide you in this process. No one can do it for you. You have to take time, isolate yourself, and seek His face. Open His word. Be in prayer, but invite Him. It may not happen today, it may not happen tomorrow, but just ask Him those questions of, what are those things? One thing I forgot to tell you is that your purpose is only always aligned with your abilities and your talents. That's why I was asking you, what are those things that come to you naturally? Because God will not give you a purpose that you don't have the natural abilities or the natural talents to accomplish it. So He has already put it in you. So don't even ever think for 1 second that this person, I wish I was this person, I had these features, why was I not this race or whatever? Because every feature you have, everything that you embody is exactly what God needs for your purpose. And so ladies, this is a big topic to be able to summarize in less than 20 minutes, but I'm really glad I was able to get at least a bit on this, because this is so sensitive. I don't need everyone. If you don't want to put this on the group post, you don't have to. You can send it to me directly, because I want to guide you. I want to work with you and help you find out what it is that God created you to be on earth for, and be in prayer for you, agreeing with you that God will give you that clarity to truly define it. So if you feel like this is something that you cannot share on the group, that's completely fine, but at least make sure that you're writing it down. You can send it to me directly, and then we can talk about it, even on a one-on-one off the group, and we can always, but if you want to share on the group, that's fine, because someone could also be learning. So thank you ladies. I hope that this gets to really give some more in-depth knowledge on purpose. There's a great book for those who like to read, The Pursuit of Purpose, Miles Monroe. That book changed my life. And there's nothing like knowledge, right? That changes everything. Once you have acquired the right kind of knowledge, it really trusts you forward. And so it's my hope that while we're here, while we're sharing, while we're learning, while we're growing, that we'll truly get to discover why it is that we're here on earth. I'm super excited for you guys. I hope that everyone watches this video to the end. It's probably the longest video, but it was important that I did some background work on this topic of purpose, because it's bigger than anything else we're going to do. So take spend time in God's presence, ask Him what it is. He's your creator, right? You didn't come here by just like that. You didn't just appear here. He was very intentional. He had a reason why He put you here. And so just ask Him to give you that clarity, so that when we go into 2021, we'll be making plans of things that will start to align you bit by bit. Even if you feel like you're further away, one simple step towards it is always better, no matter what. So thank you ladies. I look forward to connecting with you guys. I'm going to go through and read all the posts, and for those who have not posted again, hey, remember, this is the last day. I hope that you reach out and post, and so we can hear from you. All right, take care everyone. Have an amazing Sunday, an amazing start of the week. We'll continue with the conversation today and tomorrow on purpose. Super excited about this entire journey. You guys are amazing. Love you all, and bye.